Great. Sure. Get started whenever you want.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Kamegawa. I'm with Chronos and we make automatic cannabis growing systems. So our journey started late last year. Prop 64 passed, which decriminalized cannabis in our entire state. But what interested us most was the ability to grow up to 6 plants. So we did some more research and we found that there's 20 other states that allow their residents to grow cannabis for either recreational or medicinal use. So we had an idea in our head, but we first started by asking questions. We found that there's people who really want to grow, but there's also people who really need to grow. People like Professor Brian Mealy. Brian's been fighting cancer for 5 years, and he's still fighting. He requires routine chemotherapy treatments, and after his chemo, he's in a lot of pain. He's nauseous, he can barely hold down his food, and he has trouble sleeping. So his doctor did what thousands of other doctors would do, and prescribed Brian with pain medication. With his pain medication, he couldn't think clearly the next day. He wasn't able to, he was fatigued at work. And he wasn't able to operate the way Brian wanted to operate. So he took matters in his own hands and substituted his pain medication for cannabis. And once he did this, the effects were amazing. He had a lot more energy the next day. He was able to think clearly. But most importantly, he was able to still remain doing what he loves most, being an amazing Cal Poly computer science professor. So the only problem for Brian is the medicine that he requires costs $300 a month, or $3,600 a year. And unlike prescription pain medication, this cost will never be covered by any major healthcare plan. So he thought that growing was his way of having a more convenient and more affordable source of cannabis within his home. What we learned from his experience was very disappointing. He actually hired someone from the hydroponic store to help him with his setup and give him professional grow advice. But his lack of knowledge, paired with his busy schedule, ultimately led to him failing. He wasted time, he wasted money, and he didn't get the medicine that he expected. So we learned that this problem is not unique to Brian. We talked to over 1,200 people, 1,000 customer development surveys, and 200 face-to-face interviews. And we found that growing is first very difficult. The setup is incredibly complicated. You need to go to a hydroponic store and go through thousands of different nutrients, enclosures, lights, filtration setups, and you need to combine these on your own to make a setup that works for you. And then comes actually growing. There's a lot of factors you have to consider when you're growing, like pH, your nutrients, your light cycles, your temperatures. And this is the next point. It's very time consuming to maintain. Expect spending multiple times a day, every day of the week, maintaining your system. If you miss a day or two, you can ultimately lead to failure. In fact, 70% of first-time grows end in failure. And lastly, to grow indoors, it's very expensive. Expect spending $2,000 to $3,000 for a system that looks like this. So we identified from our customer development that it's more than an opportunity to innovate the grow cycle with modern day technology. And it led us to our mission, to develop a reliable, affordable, and convenient source of cannabis for everyone. The solution to these problems was a plug-and-plant system that could automatically grow cannabis. And the market has been validated. There's $2.2 million in pre-sales for our closest competitor. There's been six Kickstarters in the past year alone. And through our customer development, we solidified 500 people who are interested in beta testing our services, our product, and paying us for it. So the market is growing like crazy. I talked about people who really need to grow like Brian, but I can't ignore the people who really want to grow. The legal floodgates have opened, and people who've been waiting to grow legally for years can finally do it. The cannabis and home growing industry alone is an $11.3 billion industry. It's expected to double in the next 5 years. There's 32.1 million people who are regular cannabis users, and of those, 1.2 are medical users, like Brian. If we can get a 3% adoption rate on our technology, we have a serviceable, obtainable market of almost 1 million people. So we developed Grow Nodes, a plug-and-plant system that automatically grows cannabis. So, to make this a possibility, we first designed an all-inclusive setup. No more shopping through the hydroponic store and having to guess what you need to grow the first time. We do all the work for you. We pick the optimal lighting, filtration, nutrients, and soils, and develop it into a compact modular design and deliver it right to our customer's door. We need to automate the climate and care. Cannabis grows at a very specific temperature, and we ensure that our product is able to not only monitor the temperature, but also adjust it. And we also had to automate the care. As I said, there's a lot of factors you need to maintain when growing cannabis. So our system can automatically monitor and adjust the pH and the nutrient levels. Furthermore, it automatically controls the light cycles and the watering, eliminating a lot of the maintenance time it takes to bring a plant to harvest. And lastly, we had to flatten the learning curve. We've compiled hundreds of hours of experimentation, testing, and expert grow consultations into our product software. Our app is an intuitive tool that brings the user from seed to harvest. The app notifies the user when care is needed and walks them through step by step through detailed video tutorials. Furthermore, since our device is connected to Wi-Fi, we can remotely collect each user's data. So we have data at our fingertips to provide them with excellent customer service. And lastly, we understand that this unit alone may not yield enough for everyone interested in the grow node experience. So we support modular expandability, support up to 6 plants with a single app interface. With a grow node, expect to reduce the maintenance time it takes to bring a seed, takes a plant to seed to harvest by 90%. And your payback is only 3 cycles. The cost per cycle is $80. $30 for nutrients and substrates, which we consider these consumables, and $50 for utilities, like electricity. We lowered the price per gram down to $1.50. To give you an idea of what we did, we reduced the price per gram from the California average 10 times. So the California average per gram is $15. The grow node starts at $9.99, giving us currently margins of 65%. But once we scale for mass production, we can increase our margins up to 75 to 80%. We have recurring revenues from our consumables, like soils, filters, and substrates. And we are planning to get 50% margin on those and split it with our partners. We projected revenues of $2 million because we're confident we can secure 2,000 pre-orders by mid-2018. And we have potential revenues of $960 million if we can capture 3% of the market. So our competitors are doing great things. As I said earlier, our competitor Leaf has $2.2 million in pre-orders, but unfortunately they missed their launch last year. Grobo lacks climate control, meaning they can only service a very specific climate region. And Leaf, at the size of a refrigerator and costing $3,000, they're targeting a very niche market. People with high consumption rates and high budgets. So GrowNodes wants to umbrella the market. With our modular expandability and our climate control, we can service more climate regions than Grobo, and our customers have the ability to yield more than Leaf. We see ourselves as the go-to tech for not only residential but commercial growing in the near future. But first, we will start by getting our product into the homes of people who need it and want it first. I said before, we have a list of 500 people who are interested in beta testing right now. So we'll reduce this list down to 25 of the most representative and local beta testers, and through that, we will collect data remotely. We'll learn from their experiences, and we'll revise and iterate our product for a larger launch. We need your help so we can get our product UL and FCC certified to make sure our product is safe in the homes of our testers from the start. Simultaneously, while we beta test, we'll document and distribute our product development and our testing. To not only build excitement and garner attention, but also to prove that our system works for cannabis. Our system is designed from the ground up to grow cannabis. Not fruits, not vegetables. So we aim to have 2,000 pre-orders by 2018, and we'll do so by scaling production, partnering with important influencers, so we can get our products seen in action by millions, tens of millions of active cannabis users. And then we'll attend trade shows to educate people on how our product works and what our mission is. But we'll still continue to collect data, learn from experiences, iterate and refine our product because we believe our product will never stop improving. Our team is inspired not only by this exciting growing market, but also by the people's lives that we have the potential of changing. So Kevin and Alexa collaborated beautifully on our app, our server infrastructure, and our embedded software. Reese and Lysander worked great together on our marketing, our public outreach, and our business development. I operated as the liaison, the project manager, between the two departments to make sure that we meet important deadlines and drive this project to market. So I understand you guys traveled a long way to see what we've been so passionate about these past 6 months, and we deeply appreciate it. Thank you.